really well and the images they have. We see a lot of times that they may have an emphasis where they seem to be doing some parts of it better than others. But the goal is to, as we said, to think about it systemically. If we're going to really enable folks that are following us in groups and teams and organizations, we need to be thinking about all the pieces and attending to all the pieces.
I think EIS are knocking on the door, doing really well across the whole organisation. We'd say the S&C team was kind of doing this probably a bit further down the track on this.
And the good news is you can deliberately go after, you can assess, develop, and strengthen all of those factors. Right. Absolutely. Vision, mission, values, purpose, strategy, tactics goes here. Right. Means, motive, and opportunity. Leadership, climate, deliberate process, capabilities for innovation and growth go that way. And there are good examples of organizations that are building in capabilities, defining their strategic architectures. So there's some more and more examples of it coming out. Okay. So that's big picture stuff. How long does it take to put that in place? Depends what scope you're dealing with. If it's me and my team, right? What's the vision for our team? What's the vision for me working with this individual if we're a group of two, right? This is not necessarily the vision for the whole, EIS. It could be just me and my group. Right? As long as it's aligned to the big one, if it's there. Same thing, what we value, our own plans. So you can scope this to me and my team, you can scope it to the department, the organization, whatever scope works for you, whatever scope you have influence over. Okay, that's the opportunity. But how do you do that well? How do you make sure you're in the frame of mind to do that well? Right? One thing, 2 minutes. All right. How do you make sure you lead at your best? Okay. So, how do you make sure you're in the best position to lead at your best? You need to be in that same frame of mind, positive, present process. All right? And so how do I help do that? Because when I'm at my best, who judges the quality of my leadership, of your leadership? Who judges the quality of it? Followers, right? Your customers. So you want to be at your best because you're trying to help them be at their best. All right? The challenge is I may be in that moment, but I get knocked out. So how fast do I get back in? So there's those situations. Or I'm in one moment of activity, that's all done, now I'm moving to the next moment. How do I make sure I'm most ready to deal with that moment? Right? How do I ensure that I'm ready to think and act at my best? All right? You want to see if you can manage those things pretty quickly for each moment of truth. It doesn't have to be the big stuff. It can also be from now to the next thing you go to now in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Boom. Right? So how do you get ready for that? I still want to manage all of that, so I attend to that moment the best possible. So how do I do that quickly? We found that you can do it in 16 seconds. So it doesn't have to take forever. You can do it in 16 seconds to prepare yourself to get ready for the best moment, the next moment, and your best performance in it. So how do I manage those sources of influence really quickly? All right, it's a process. And it comes from Jim Lehr's research in tennis. How do the great tennis players move from playing one point to playing the next point? They got 15 seconds, they got 20 seconds, whatever the league is, right? How do they get themselves ready? Has anybody heard of the research? It's called the 16-second cure. And what Lehr was trying to find out is what differentiates the best over everybody else. Skills, a lot of them can beat each other on any given day, but the best of the best, he found out, it's not what they do during the point, it's what they do in between the points that makes all the difference. Leaders can do the same thing. Yes, you perform in the moments, but how you get ready when you move from moment to moment will influence the likelihood that you perform at your best in the next moment. And here's the process they use. We've modified it to fit general context. They recover, they relax, they refocus, and they get ready. Nice and straightforward, and they can do it in 16 seconds. So recovering and relaxing, recollect from whatever you need from the past, all right? Relax your emotions. You talked about being in a relaxed state when you perform at your best. Boom. Clarify that, lets go of the past. Now we think of the future. What's my intention in that next moment? What do I intend to happen? What do I want to happen? Clarify it, confirm it, and then manage the projection I'm about to move into. Prepare my body, because guess what? They're all paying attention to what I look like, what I act like, etc. when I move in. What rituals do I use? What do I do as a leader to prepare myself for that next moment? That's how they do it. Okay? And the kinds of behaviors you can see, and you've got this in your cards. All right? So recovering, stop, finish, package what you're doing, find neutral ground, whether it's a restroom on the way, a cup of coffee, whatever it might be, or you can just, right? Stand up might be neutral ground. Take a deep breath, center yourself, identify the next moment and what you intend to have happen, and then get yourself ready. Quiet your mind, be ready to move into it. That's how it works. Does that make sense? Has anyone ever just kind of taken a breath? We saw it with the person who kicked the field goal. Sorry. He kicked the goal, penalty point. To translate, sorry. Did you see the close-up? You know, athletes do this all the time. Leaders need to do it. And he walked up, got into the moment because of that history he just had. He had to let go of that. He had to get himself fully centered in the moment to perform that one thing that was the only thing that was important, right there. Did whatever he did, and then off he went.
Right, also closed his eyes and visualized.
Yeah. Yeah. That's this kind of stuff. Mentally and physically prepare.
I'll tell you something I noticed about that game. It wasn't the free kick at the end, it was after the national anthems. And all of them looked, it was the first game of the World Cup, all of them looked scared out of their wits.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, since the national anthem, big smile on his face, like, come on, and looked like really excited to get into that game. And all the rest of them, like, oh, what are we going to do? But I think that was more important than the body language before the kick. It was some of the stuff.
So transitioning into the moment, what he did to get himself ready for that game, the projection you just described, right? This is what he was projecting. He's ready to go, and everyone else is projecting what? Right? Nice. People see it. People notice it. Okay? So that's on the context. Right? So that's good. That's our third P right there. And so that's it. Yep. So the target is high performance. We want followers to be in that mindset. This is the way we do it, by setting those conditions for them to perform at their best. And how do we make sure we're ready to do it? We prepare ourselves to be in that moment with them. Okay? That's what we wanted to talk about. So thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time. And if you have questions, we'll hang around.
I don't know what we're doing now, Franklin. Are we lunching or what's the plan? Is there lunch here?
You've got lunch coming in about 10 minutes.
Okay. So if everybody's stacked, we can do some Q&A, or we can just diverge. What would you like to do, folks? Would you want to do a bit more Q&A with Brian, or would you want to chit-chat at your tables? Some of you got to get off. The commitment was 11 to 1, right? Anyone got to go? Someone got to go. If you need to go, go. Otherwise,